morning, everyone. It is Monday, September 15th, 2025. Getting ready for work. You might hear Theo in the background. He's playing a video game. Let's see. I've been up since 5:20-ish. Last night, the Northern Lights were out, so I was up kind of late, too. The lights were so beautiful. It was amazing. I was only out for maybe half an hour. And, then the fog rolled in. We're right by Lake Superior, so it gets really foggy this time of year. And, ouch, that hurt. I just pulled my own hair. So I took some pictures until the fog rolled in, and then I came in and went to bed. Things are going pretty well today so far. Like I said, I got up early, mostly because I woke up because I had to pee. And then once I'm up, I'm up. There's really no, like, going back to sleep at that point. So I got up and, made some coffee. This week is going to be an emotional one because of a few different things. Tomorrow is Tilk's birthday. It's the second birthday without him alive. He would be turning 17. As a family, we had a special meal and dirt cake and stuff on Saturday. We all have a day off tomorrow, but my husband's lactose intolerant and he has to go back to work the next day, so he wanted to do cake with dairy in it before, like ahead of time. That way he could have some without being sick the next day. And then Friday is the 2-year anniversary of the day that we adopted our niece. Long story there. She had spent quite a bit of time in foster care in another state, and we did try to, she grew up down the street from me, and she was always at my house, and I was sort of her safe place. And then they moved away, and she would call me almost every day. Auntie, I love you. I want to come home. She asked me several times to adopt her, and I said if it was possible, I would. When she went into foster care, and then she was in a homeless shelter for a while, and then back to foster care, and she kept running away. And eventually she made her way over here, and I did adopt her. And I thought love would be enough. I thought I could help her. But shortly after the adoption was complete, she ran away. And now she's over 18, so there's nothing we can do about it. She moved in with a boy, and a few months later, she cut contact with everyone. So I haven't heard from her. I tried to reach out a few times. I tried to reach her when Tuck was in the hospital dying because she lives pretty close to that hospital too, and she basically didn't want anything to do with anybody. So that's a painful one. I hope she's doing well. I really, really do. Sometimes, as much as you want to heal somebody's trauma, you can't. They have to want to heal. I write to her, but she doesn't write back. I honestly don't know if she's getting my letters. I just want her to know that we love her, that we're praying for her. I hope she's doing okay. That adoption day was one of the happiest days, but things don't always go the way you think they're going to. Two years ago at this time, I had 11 living children, 10 bio kids, and my niece. Maybe she'll come back someday. Maybe she won't. All I know is that for a time, I was her safe place. I gave her a roof over her head. I fed her, took care of her. And I don't regret any of that. Anyway, I've got a lot of work to do today after I get off of work. We're still working on the deck. Yesterday I moved. We have two plastic sheds on our deck, and those had to be moved from one side to the other because Rob sprayed the deck with some sealant. The only problem is the sealant is bubbly and weird looking, so I think we're gonna have to redo it in the spring. I guess that's what happens when we try to save a little money and go a little cheaper. Kind of sucks, but live and learn, I guess. Rob also got the roof fixed earlier this summer. It's been so rainy this year, and the seal around the chimney thing for the heater started to leak. I couldn't get up there to get it fixed because it was raining like every single day. We finally had enough dry days that it dried out so we could seal it again. It wasn't like a bad leak and it didn't really do any damage. wanted to make sure it got fixed before it did any damage. I'm really careful to stay on top of house maintenance because when I was a kid, my mom didn't. And I ended up living in a house that was literally falling in on me. When I was a kid, my mom and her second husband dug underneath the foundation of the house to bury trash because they were hoarders, and instead of just like taking out the trash, they just kept burying it and hiding it. We had a shed and a garage, and it was full of literal trash. And I remember as soon as I was old enough to work, this was after my mom's second husband had moved out, I was old enough to work, and I started trying to take the trash out myself, but there was so much of it. I tried to pay to have some of it removed, but I could never get on top of it. Over time, the trash under the house started to decompose. And the bathroom was literally sliding off the house. A tornado had gone through when I was about 13, and it knocked a tree on the roof. One of my teachers, my science teacher, came over and cut down the tree, but the roof was damaged, like severely damaged. And my mom never fixed it. So critters moved in. One time we had a nest of bats in there. My sister got bit and had to have rabies shots. And we would routinely find critters flying through the house, or there was a hornet's nest that moved into the ceiling above the bathroom. And eventually the toilet quit working, so we had to walk down to the grocery store or the gas station to use the toilet. It was bad. It was really bad. My mom says that she couldn't fix it because she was depressed. But, you know, whatever. That's the house I grew up in. And so, like, anytime something breaks in my house or even looks a little bit like it's falling apart, I immediately want to fix it. Because I don't want to ever go through that again. I don't want my kids to ever go through that. So, like, the one thing that you'll see in a few of my TikTok videos, there's a little circular hole in one of the side, like the corner in the hallway. And the reason why that's still there is actually a sentimental one. I have fixed it several times, but when we first moved into this house 18 years ago, my oldest, Dylan, took a screwdriver and poked holes along the drywall. And I replaced the drywall everywhere except that one spot because it was really small. And so I kept trying to patch it, and over the years he kept poking it again. Eventually I just left it because it kind of became a running joke, I guess, about the hole in the wall. But like literally everything else I try to fix before it becomes a major problem. Because sometimes when you have a lot of kids, things can break down really easily. Anyway, it's time for me to go. I'll see you soon.